One of the biggest questions I always get asked by people is like, how are you so chill? How are you so happy all the time? You're like the chillest person I've ever met. How do you do it? Were you always like this? And the answer is no. I was not always happy. I was actually suicidal at many points and really depressed and chronically anxious and battling with perfectionism and OCD. It's been a journey. However, I think there were certainly a few things along the way that helped me get to this elevated state where I feel really at peace and I feel really content and really comfortable and confident in my own skin. And so these are 11 things that you can do today to feel more happy and more connected to this life, this universe, and your highest self or your fullest, most maximum potential. So, number one is to exercise, to move your body, release those feel good, happy endorphins. My favorite ways to exercise is like cardio. If you don't want to leave your house, I do jump roping all the time. My jump rope is right over there. Cycling is one of my favorite things. That's a recent new one. Running outside is really good. Even doing like jumping jacks, like something on the spot really quick to just like move your body, get those endorphins flowing if you're feeling really overwhelmed and really stuck. Number two is to go for a walk and focus on the present moment. So, really focusing on your breath and focusing on your surroundings, all the changing colors, the changing scenery, maybe some architecture of homes and buildings that you really like and really inspire you. I love taking a moment to appreciate little neighborhood community libraries, like in the little, they almost look like birdhouse boxes on the end of someone's property line. I love taking those in and just appreciating the beauty of that. Flowers coming up in the spring, leaves budding, a really nice, big, beautiful tree. Just make sure to take note of anything and everything that you find beauty in, and then take that moment to appreciate it and soak it in. Allow yourself to smile, allow your heart to open up and feel that gratitude and that appreciation. Other things that I really love to take in when I'm on walks is like kids playing and running and laughing and just being kids, squirrels chasing each other, running up trees, birds singing songs in the trees, all that fun stuff. Number three is to carve out some self care time, whatever that looks like to you. For me, I really like to do like personal hygiene self care. So, like hair mask, everything shower, maybe a little facial where you like steam your face, exfoliate it, do a face mask. I really like to do my nails. Like, I don't really use nail polish, but I do like to take the time to like do my cuticles and my nail beds and file them really nice, shape them really nice. You could make a little sweet treat, spend some time baking for yourself, set up a little movie date at home, make some popcorn, choose a movie, and just enjoy that time to yourself. Read, clean, whatever it is that makes you feel the most at peace and at ease and just like connected to yourself. That's really important. Number four is probably the most key one. Journaling, I think, is what got me through my hardest points in this life. When I would be going through really tumultuous events where I just couldn't regulate my nervous system and I was just feeling so alone and scared and anxious, I would go in my room and I would be like sobbing. And I would just journal and I would just get my thoughts out because nobody in my house really made me feel heard. And I didn't have any friends really that were willing to take on that baggage. And I wasn't really myself willing to put it on them. And so journaling was a really great way. And if you don't have money for therapy, like it is just phenomenal to get your emotions out, get them on a paper, process them. It really, really allows you to get to know yourself and figure out where your mind is at, what feelings are coming up for you. And I think that really helps with making sense of a complex, overwhelming situation. So, journaling just in and of itself is great, but also journaling about how proud you are of yourself. I think that really allows you to validate yourself and recognize your strength and your capability. of doing well and succeeding, I think it's really easy to get lost in the mud a little bit and forget about all the things that we have accomplished in the past, big or small. And so when we take the time to sit down and acknowledge those big and small things that we accomplished in the past and write them down, pen to paper, it's so much easier to recognize those things and then also like take ownership of them and be like, you know what? Yeah, I did that. That was me. I did overcome that. And this little hiccup in the road compared to all those other things I've done is nothing. It's so minuscule. Or, maybe it's a bigger feat. But taking stock of all those incredible things that you've overcome, all that strength and fortitude and tenacity that you had in the past should inspire you and motivate you to tackle whatever hurdle it is that you are facing in life at this present moment. Number 5 is to use the right side of your brain. Yeah, the right side, apparently, is like the creative side of your brain. So engage in some type of creative endeavor, whether it is making videos or curating a little Instagram post or Facebook post or painting. I have so much artwork up in my apartment. It's one of my favorite ways to create. Like, let me just show you a couple of my paintings. I made these in Waterloo in the parks there. I would have little picnic dates by myself and like bring all my paint stuff, and I would just sit for hours and paint, and I'd bring snacks and I'd bring my glitter, and it was just the most therapeutic, soothing process. And I honestly think that painting changes something in your brain because it's one of those things where you can't judge the process of it. You can't judge the beginning of it, and you have to trust the vision and trust the process and trust that like if you don't like it, you can change it, you can add to it. And I think that's a really beautiful metaphor for this journey of life and who we are as individuals. The fact that like you might not like who you are at the beginning, at the very start, but with time and with tweaks and with care and patience and attention and creativity, you can become something really beautiful that you really, really love and appreciate and want to put on display and show all your friends and family. And yeah, I just think painting is really, really great for that. And if painting's not your thing, you can do so many other things. You can cook, you can knit, crochet, puzzle, bake, put together a really stylish outfit, redecorate your room, reorganize the furniture, create a new Pinterest board. Like the options are endless. And if you're at a loss for options, just do a quick Google search of like low skill level, really easy, artistic, creative things to do. And I'm sure a huge whole list will come up for you. Number 6 is to plan a date with yourself for later in the week. Or even today, later today, whenever you want. Pick a date, pick a time, pick an activity like you would with a partner. And this could be anything from like getting your nails and hair done, going for lunch, going for dinner and seeing a movie, going for a walk and grabbing a sweet treat and a coffee or warm drink, or running a bath and reading, going to the park and having a picnic and painting, doing something creative. I think planning dates with yourself is one of the most wonderful, beautiful things that you can do to foster a kind, loving, caring relationship with yourself. And I really think it's crucial in this journey of self-love and self-development. If you don't take the time and the energy and the money to invest in yourself and take moments and time to care for yourself and be with yourself and do things that you love and that you want to do and things that help you appreciate the beauty of this life. Yeah, I just feel like that's all really, really important and highly recommend. Number 7 is to compliment strangers. Apparently complimenting strangers gives you a little dopamine boost. Who doesn't love sharing love with other people and then also getting that love in return? Like it's very rare that when you compliment a stranger, or just like anyone for that matter, that they're not going to receive it well, and it's not going to bring a smile to their face, and it's not going to make them feel good. Yeah, I feel like when you're complimenting strangers, you get to share that sense of connection and that sense of love and appreciation and dopamine together of like, oh my God, I love this thing that you're wearing, this thing that you're doing. It's incredible. And then they get to feel like, oh my God, I'm seen, I'm heard, I'm loved. And you kind of just get to share in that interaction with each other. And I think that's one of the most beautiful and precious things about this life. Um, I know some people that have said in the past, like, oh, I always want to compliment strangers, but like I never do. Oh, I really wanted to compliment them so bad, but I just couldn't. And my question is why? Why not? Why wouldn't you? Like, what's the worst thing that can happen? They don't acknowledge you? Like, really, that's probably the worst thing that can happen. Or they're like a crackhead and they're gonna freak out on you and tell you to fuck off. Whatever. But that's what builds character. Like, rejection therapy, baby. Exposure therapy. Expose yourself to the chance of being rejected, the chance of not being received well by other people. I mean, it's a very rare case scenario, but like if that is the worst case scenario of complimenting a stranger, I think it's a win-win at the end of the day. Number 8 is to say hi to people you pass on the street. It's also one of those things where when you wave at someone, when you say hello to someone, it's very rare that they're not gonna say hello back or acknowledge you with a smile or a nod in some way. And if they don't, it's typically because they didn't see you or they didn't hear you or they're just an asshole. And again, at the end of the day, exposure therapy, if they don't receive it well, that's a reflection of them, not a reflection of you. And I think it's a really great way to practice that mindset of like, I'm going to give love without an expectation of receiving it, because I think that's where people get really messed up in relationships. Is that when they think giving love means they have to receive it back. Because when you think in that way, it just becomes a transaction, which I think is a really unhealthy way to think about love and care and appreciation, because it's really fucked up to make your willingness and ability to give love dependent on other people's willingness and ability to give love, because you have no control over other people's willingness and ability to give love. All you can do is worry about your own and have control over your own. And so I think when you love and you care openly without an expectation, the moments when you do have that love and care reciprocated, it means so much more, because then it's actually genuine and it's not just because of this preface of like, oh, I complimented you, so you have to compliment me back. I did this thing for you, so you have to do it for me back. It's not like Tim Hortons, okay? People have free will and they can not treat you the way that you treat them. And that's okay. Again, a reflection of them, not a reflection of you. And so engaging in these opportunities where you're giving love without the expectation of receiving it back in the same way is a really healthy way to practice self-love and self-care and diminish that like chronic need of external validation that is so prominent in our society. Okay, now number 9 is to text your friends and see how they're doing, maybe make plans with them. When we spend time with our friends and we reach out to our friends and we feel this sense of love and connection, it fosters the secretion of the neurochemical oxytocin and hormone serotonin, which are both like feel-good chemicals. So if you're feeling like shit, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling depressed, reach out to friends and family that typically make you feel good and just be like, hey, what's up? How's it going? I miss you, whatever. This post made me think about you. How are things? What are you doing this week? What are you up to this weekend? Would you want to do something? And then I think that also fosters this connection of this feeling of connection and community, which is so inherent to our human biology and physiology. Things that we can't really survive without. There's tons of studies of people like being isolated and dying from a lack of human connection, like those studies from, what's it called? The Holocaust, when they did a study with newborn babies, and like one set of nurses just gave the babies what they needed, and then the other set of nurses gave the babies what they needed in terms of like food, water, sleep, milk, whatever, and also love and care and connection and talking and holding and rocking and singing and reading and all that good stuff. And the babies that didn't get all of the love and care and connection died. So, and also the fact that solitary confinement is like the worst form of punishment in jails and prisons. So don't do that to yourself. Don't punish yourself by isolating yourself from people that you love and people that you care about. Reach out. It's a two-way street. Reach out, express that love, express that care. Make time to FaceTime, to call, to catch up, to meet, to hang, all that good stuff. Number 10 is to set an inspiring and positive affirmation that you plan to repeat to yourself within the first 5 to 10 minutes of waking up in the morning. M on the Brain, that's her like social media handle. She talks a lot about this. This is one of the things that she does every day. And her reasoning for it is that when you first wake up in the morning, within that like 10-minute window, I believe, your brain waves are still at this state where it's more susceptible to changing and rerouting neurological pathways. And so within those first 10 minutes, if you are repeating these positive affirmations to yourself, it's more likely that your brain is going to actually pick up on that affirmation and like internalize it and believe it and ingrain it into a neurological pathway as compared to doing it later in the day. One of my favorite little books that I recently got, I got it from Marshall's, and it's called The Affirmation Pages Gratitude Using a Patent Pending Methodology. It's a journal for guided writing of positive affirmations, and it's by Summer Mind. And every single page has so many different affirmations, more so for like gratitude, but this is just an example of some affirmations that you could do. If you don't like these, you could also find some online. So I'll just read this one page. I'm grateful for new beginnings, like a new day, before I begin eating. Okay, that one, doesn't really apply. I'm grateful that I'm open to receiving and giving love. I'm grateful for the gift of time and energy from another. I am learning to grow my gratitude through purposeful contemplation. There is so much to be grateful for when I truly look. I appreciate the small, simple pleasures that make my days more beautiful. My gratitude allows me to lead with helpful, positive energy. So those are just some suggestions. And if you want more, I'm sure you can always order this book online. And then number 11 is a really fun one. It's to play your favorite hot girl or hot boy song and blast it on full volume and dance around like nobody's watching. This is another really great way, tying it back to the very first one, is to move your body. Move your body and release that serotonin, those endorphins, those feel-good chemicals, and yeah, just have a dance party and move that stress through your body. You don't have to be at a club to dance and turn up and feel good about yourself. And I think music can be a really great way to let go, let loose, remind yourself that it's not that deep. It's all about perspective. And I think the more often that we can allow ourselves to get into this space of it's not that deep thinking and I'm just going to let loose. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to enjoy this moment in time as much as possible. The more we actually enjoy life in every moment through the day to day, the more you exercise that muscle of your brain of like, I'm going to allow myself to love life and enjoy this, and I'm not going to take it so seriously. I'm not going to take it so deep. The easier it is to behave that way and think that way and act that way, just subconsciously without even thinking about it. So my favorite feel-good song is Who Says by Selena Gomez. That was like my song growing up, my fucking song. Her Round and Round album, that was the very first CD I got when I was a kid. And it was like the one thing I wanted for my 10th birthday. And I would put it on my little like retro CD player and jam out so hard in my room. And I had my little iPod shuffle that had the little clip on it, and I'd wear it as a hair clip and put in my string earbuds and go crazy dancing and singing to that song. And it was really great for when people would tell me that I couldn't, and people made it feel like I didn't have what it took to accomplish my dreams and enjoy this life and kind of escape the unfortunate situation that I was in terms of like tumultuous family relationships and just a very dysregulated nervous system and household. And so I would always blast that, and it would be the perfect reminder of like, I got this, I can do this. Who says I can't? Who says? Who fucking says? Selena Gomez says I can, and so if this hottie says I can, I definitely can. And still to this day, every time I play that song, it just like brings me back to that moment in time of being a 10-year-old and that being my like hot girl dance party song. And it's really great for reminding me of like how far I've come, and the fact that like, don't listen to anyone. Don't listen to anyone. You are your strongest soldier, and you are the voice that you have to amplify and listen to the most at the loudest volume at the end of the day, because talk is cheap. Most people are unhappy, and unfortunately, most people don't want to see you winning, and most people have really dysregulated nervous systems and a lot of limiting beliefs, and so they're going to project that onto you, and it may not be intentional, it may not be ill-intended, it may also be intentional and ill-intended, but that's their shit to worry about, not yours. And so find a song that makes you feel good, makes you feel like it's not that deep and I got this and I don't have to listen to anyone else, and I'm gonna do me, I'm gonna take care of me, because I'm a winner at the end of the day. And so find that song, play that song, dance your little heart out, and yeah, come back to this video anytime you're feeling down and you feel like a little pick-me-up and you're at a loss of things to do that can make you feel better right now, today. And yeah, things that you can also practice and continue to practice for the rest of your life to continue bringing yourself back to this place of joy and contentment and gratitude, appreciation, peace. And yeah, that's it. That's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Kisses. Bye.